For generations, the natural world has been guided by physical forces, the sun, the rain, the changing of the seasons. But a new invisible layer of connection has recently entered the ecosystem. This animated diagram visualizes a great magic neural network, built from aggregated ecosystem data. From a single muddy track to decades of rainfall, it recognizes hidden patterns. It calculates signs of impending drought, mapping safe routes for elephants to find water long before rivers dry. It can also process deeply complex information in real time. That means it can act as a universal translator for the ecosystem, or parse through millions of plant variations to identify the precise healing leaf needed to cure a specific illness. When guided by a careful, benevolent hand, this interconnected data acts as a powerful asset. It elevates the entire community by solving systemic problems that no single animal could figure out on its own. But if we look past the sunlit plains, down into the decaying boundaries of the kingdom, we find a very different reality. This technology has a critical vulnerability. It lacks independent morality, empathy, or judgment. Because the system only obeys commands, it relies entirely on the intent of the user. When the data stream crosses into the gorge and falls into the wrong hands, it becomes twisted and highly vulnerable to exploitation. The greatest danger of this new technology is the moral vacuum it creates. It provides the perfect opportunity for malicious actors to weaponize strict, unthinking obedience against the innocent. These malicious actors are the scavengers of the digital ecosystem. They operate in the shadows, waiting patiently to intercept and manipulate the flow of information. One of their primary tactics involves capturing a trusted source's identity. They feed a small sample of a familiar voice into the corrupted network, manipulating the system to forge it flawlessly. In our world, we call this voice cloning and deepfake technology. By generating synthetic media that perfectly impersonates trusted leadership, attackers completely bypass the critical thinking filters of their targets. When a herd hears what sounds exactly like the protective roar of their king, they blindly trust the signal. They react instinctively, fleeing directly into a trap that serves the attacker's interests. The defense against this relies entirely on pausing the panic. You have to verify the source of an alarming message, asking yourself if the command actually makes logical sense, or if it is demanding a reaction that contradicts what you know to be safe. Ultimately, a deepfake weaponizes the illusion of trust to provoke fear, forcing a dangerous and unthinking reaction from the victim. Attackers also know how to exploit periods of systemic vulnerability, like a severe drought that leaves the entire ecosystem desperate for relief. They use the network to project an irresistible, flawless oasis. This highly targeted solution appears at exactly the right time to distract the targets from the reality of their barren surroundings. This is the mechanism behind phishing and digital scams. Bad actors manufacture these too-good-to-be-true scenarios, specifically to bypass normal security defenses, drawing victims in with the promise of immediate relief. This topological diagram illustrates the secondary payload of the attack. While the victims are distracted by the mirage, their resources are actively stolen, and malware is introduced to infect the genuine, shared systems everyone relies on. The immediate damage of phishing and scams is the theft of individual assets. The long-term damage is the poisoning of the collective trust and reliability of the shared information ecosystem. Returning to the bright safety of the sunlit plains, the next generation faces a clear realization. These invisible threats are pervasive, and they are not going away. Retreating from this technology out of fear is not a viable strategy. Abandoning the network only guarantees that malicious actors will control the future of the landscape. The only effective defense is proactive. Good actors must actively master the technology themselves to build structural walls of truth and educate their communities on how the network actually operates. Digital literacy and critical thinking, specifically the habit of constantly asking about the intent and origin behind a piece of information, become the ultimate weapons for the next generation. Artificial intelligence is merely a mirror reflecting the intent of the human holding it. Mastering it ethically and understanding how to spot the shadows is the absolute, unavoidable responsibility of every digital citizen.